Okay, here are solutions to the lettered problems for lesson 1-1. This problem here, we have a fractional coefficient, a rational coefficient. So again, we're going to multiply it by the reciprocal, the multiplicative inverse of 1/5, which would be 5 over 1. In this case, it's simple because we can multiply both sides by 5. This 1/5 times 5 would be 1x, 12 times 5 would be 60, and because we have 1x, we do not even have to divide by 1. And of course, you should always check, and again, I will tell you that the easiest way to do that would be to take 1 divided by 5 in a calculator times our answer of 60 equals, and you will get 12. Okay? For our second problem, letter B, we have -2/9 D equals 4. So we're going to first of all multiply by what's in the denominator, multiply both sides by 9. That eliminates the 9, and we end up with -2D. 4 times 9 is 36. Now we've got a nice easy problem. We can easily see that we're going to take and divide both sides by -2. Divide by -2. We get D equals negative, of course, 18. And once again, put it in a calculator and check it. And again, to put that in a calculator quick and easy, it would be -18 times -2 divided by 9, and you're going to get, or in fact, you can do that in your head. -18 times -2 would be +36 divided by 9 is indeed 4. Letter C, we have 15 equals 5/3 of n. Again, multiply both sides by the denominator. Multiply by 3, we have 45 equals, the 3's cancel out here, so we have 5n. I can show you that here. This would be multiplying by 3 over 1, and we would have this to 5n. Next step, since we're multiplying the variable by 5, we're going to divide both sides by 5 to undo that. And we get 9 for n. Plug that back in up here for n and check your answer and verify that it is indeed correct. Letter D, -24 equals -6/7 p. Again, multiply both sides by 7. That eliminates the denominator. -24 times 7 is -168. And over here we have -6p. Obvious next step is to undo the multiplication of -6 by dividing both sides by -6. Divide -168 divided by -6, you get 28. So we have an answer of p equals 28. Plug it into the original equation and verify that it works. Now notice we have 2 letter D's on this assignment. The second letter D is 4 1/6 equals 3 1/3 times C. So because we have to multiply by the multiplicative inverse, the only way to find that is to turn the fractions, turn the mixed fractions into improper fractions. And again, the procedure for that is 4 times 6, 24, plus the 1 is 25 over 6. Same thing here, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, 10 over 3. So we have 2 different denominators here. So you're going to use the larger in order to make sure you eliminate both. Okay? Multiply both sides by 6. We get 25 equals 6 times. Well, let's put this here so we see this. We're multiplying this by 6. So this would be 60 over 3, which we can do in our head. 60 divided by 3 is 20. So we have 25 equals 20c. So that means we're going to have to divide both sides by 20. Divide by 20 on this side. The easiest way to do that is don't even bother to divide it. Write it as 25 over 20, which is showing division, and then just simplify it to 5/4, which of course would simplify to 1 1/4. Again, check that answer. You could put that answer in your calculator. Letter E, -9 5/8 W equals 108. We're going to turn this into an improper fraction. -77 over 8 W equals 108. So in this case, we're going to multiply both sides by 8. We get -77W equals 864. Again, what I would do is take a look at this and recognize that this is 864 over negative 77. The way I would do this is put this in a calculator, 864 divided by 77, and you're going to see that you get negative 11 and some decimal. Then just take and do the math. Put in the 864 divided by negative 77. We know it's going to go 11 times. 11 times the 77 is 847, and now we figure out that we have a remainder of 17. So you have 11 and 17 77ths. Negative number. Letter F. 1 7/8 y equals 4 1/2. Turn them both into improper fractions. We get 15/8 y equals 9 over 2. Multiply both sides by 8 because this denominator is greater. We want to use that one to eliminate them both. We end up with 15y equals 8 times 9 is 72 over 2. 72 over 2 is 36. Now we can divide both sides by 15, and we end up with y equals 36 divided by 15. Do the math, and we end up with a remainder of 6. So it's going to be 6/15. It'd be 2 and 6/15, but 6/15 we can divide the 6 and 15 both by 3 and reduce it to 2 2/5. Again, check that in your book.
Letter G. 4.9 equals 0.7t. Divide both sides by 0.7 and get t equals 7. Nice straightforward answer. Check that answer in your original equation. Letter H. Negative 1.4m equals 2.1. Divide both sides by negative 1.4, and we get m equals negative 1.5. Again, put in the original equation for that it works. And lastly, letter I. Negative 5.6k equals negative 12.88. Divide both sides by negative 5.6 and get k equals 2.3. Put that answer in the original equation for that it works. Okay, guided practice for section 1-1. Problem number 1 is 60 equals 3/4 p. First step, multiply both sides by 4. Eliminates the denominator. We have 240 equals 3p. Next obvious step is to do the opposite of multiplying by 3 by dividing both sides by 3. We have p equals 80. Put it in the original equation and double check that it works. Quick, easy way to do that would be 3 divided by 4 times 80, and that will give you 60. Problem number 2, negative 27 over 25x equals negative 9/5. Multiply both sides by 25, and you get 27x equals 25 over 1 times negative 9 over 5. We can cross simplify here, and by this time you should be looking at this and thinking there might be a better way to do this problem, and I'm going to go to that in just a minute. But once you simplify the 25 over 5 to 5 over 1, we end up with 45. Now we have 27x equals negative 45. Divide both sides divided by 27. There is indeed a better way. Let's take a look at our original problem. Our original problem was negative 27 over 25x equals negative 9 over 5. Remember, all along we've been showing that all we need to do is multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse. In this case, it's probably easiest to do it both as one step rather than multiply and then divide. We're just going to put 25 over negative 27, 25 over negative 27, and multiply both sides by that right from the start. In this case, the 25 and the negative 27s cancel each other out. We get x, makes this real nice and easy. Over here, the 25 over 5 is reduced to 5 over 1. The negative 9 over negative 27 is reduced to 1 over 3. Divide both of these by 9, both of these by 5, and we get 5 over 3. So x equals 5/3 or 1 2/3. So as you can see, sometimes just immediately jumping, especially when you're dealing with fractions on both sides, it might be easiest to just multiply by the multiplicative inverse of that fraction right from the start. And again, check your answer and verify.
Problem number 3. Negative 2.7t equals 810. Divide both sides by the opposite of the multiplication. Divide by negative 2.7 on both sides, and we end up with t equals negative 300. Problem number 4. Again, we have a word problem. We're going to work backwards. First of all, they ask, the thing they're looking for is how many pages were read. So we're going to verify a variable of p equals pages. And then it also said that the person had read 84 pages. So there's one of the things we know. And that they read 70%. Okay? So 70% or 0.7 of the pages, p, equals pages. So we take both sides and divide it by the 0.7. Undo this by dividing by 0.7 and divide 84 divided by 0.7 and you get 120. So your answer is going to be that Paul has read 120 pages. So here is when the equation has a rational coefficient. That's what this whole lesson is about. When the equation has a rational coefficient, then we need to multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse, which of course everybody refers to as flip it and then multiply. Thank you.